Hello, SEIU-UHW members. My name is Dave Regan, and I am talking to you today from national contract negotiations between the Coalition of Kaiser Permanente Unions and KP, where our bargaining team across all the different locals of over 300 folks is engaged in the work of winning the kind of contract that frontline caregivers are expecting all across the country, including for UHW members here in California. I want to be honest with people that yesterday we presented Kaiser with a comprehensive economic proposal. What they indicated to us at the end of the day, and again this morning, is that they are not prepared to give us a full and respectful counter-proposal at these negotiations. That is a real source of frustration for our bargaining team. I'll talk about that in a minute, but I want everybody to know out there that these negotiations are serious, these negotiations are hard, and it's going to take our best efforts, both as members of the bargaining team and rank and file members all across California and the coalition, to win the kind of settlement we're looking for. So that's the background. I want to remind people that we entered these negotiations yesterday on the heels of the largest demonstration and informational picketing activity that we've ever seen at Kaiser Permanente. Over 25,000 members of the coalition participated in dozens and dozens of informational picketing events last week to bring attention and awareness among union members and also to make sure that Kaiser Permanente managers and executives and decision makers know how serious we are about reaching the kind of an agreement that healthcare workers deserve at this point in time. So the activity is ramping up in the field. We are now 60 days away from the expiration of the national agreement, which ends on September 30th. So we're really in the home stretch of this. And it's also the case that as we entered these negotiations, there have been some interesting developments with other unions across the country, most significantly the Teamsters, who, as many of you probably know, reached a historic settlement with UPS just 2 weeks ago. What's interesting about those negotiations is the cost of living, the need for wage increases that keep up with inflation, the need for people to have secure full-time jobs and be fully benefited. All of those themes were part of what the Teamsters were talking about, and the initial reports are that they won a great contract, the best contract ever in the history of that company, and we intend to replicate that here for healthcare workers at KP. As I said a few minutes ago, yesterday we presented our formal comprehensive economic proposal. We're proposing a 4-year agreement to Kaiser. We have proposed the largest across-the-board pay increases in the history of bargaining between the coalition and KP. A 7% increase in year 1 is what we propose, 7% in year 2, 6.25% in years 3 and 4. Additionally, we're saying we need to raise the floor for all caregivers across the whole of the coalition to $25 an hour. We're encouraged that the Teamsters were able to get to 21 immediately, and reports are 23 pretty quickly under their agreement. And we think healthcare workers occupy a special place in this economy and have been specially subjected to the effects of the pandemic, and a $25 an hour minimum wage is absolutely appropriate. We also propose to have a minimum payout irrespective of what the operating margins are in a given region of $1,500 for union members. We have said to Kaiser that their behavior this past year in terms of how they handled the PSP was a wake-up call to all of us, and we are bound and determined we're not going to revisit that, and we're not going to live through that kind of thing again. We've additionally proposed in local bargaining classification improvements, shift differentials, other sorts of differentials, and all of those economic proposals are part of a core package that we're fighting for and we're going to continue to argue for here in these negotiations. But I have to remind people that Kaiser's response, their unpreparedness, their cavalierness about just how difficult it is out there for working people who live paycheck to paycheck, They've just demonstrated a kind of disrespect and a kind of callousness that we've not seen in the past. Something is going on that's different, and we have to be prepared to meet this challenge, and we have to understand how serious this is. I want to remind all UHW members that we're gearing up for public activities and demonstrations on Labor Day to continue to make the case to elected officials, the public at large, and ourselves that we are going to fight for the best contract we've ever had. It expires on September 30th. We need to be ready to strike if that's what it takes to win the best contract we've ever had. And we're going to return to formal collective bargaining negotiations on August 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. And we're going to do everything we can to get Kaiser to behave differently today and tomorrow. But we're getting to crunch time, and we all have to understand what's at stake. Last point I want to make is I want to remind people they can go to our homepage to see all of the details and all of the particulars about negotiations. But this is real, this is serious, our team is united, the coalition is united, and we have to all do our part to win the kind of agreement that everyone deserves. So thank you, everybody. We'll continue to keep you posted. Let's stay in touch. Let's talk in our facilities. Let's do everything we know how to do to win the kind of agreement that people need, deserve, and are entitled to. So take care. Have a great day.